Once upon a time, there lived a Celtic lady of the prairie. She lived in a magical cabin in an enchanted prairie land called Medina. And there was a teardrop mountain that overlooked this prairie that was known to have magical properties. She lived far away from people, but soon her reputation grew, and outlying villages came to know this Celtic goddess of magical power. For this Lady of the Prairie knew the secrets of ancient Celtic recipes, where nature's elemental spirits released their magical vitality to all who ate her food. As time went on, the Lady of the Prairie was sought after for her magical craft. She began to increase her powers into the animal realms, for she learned the secrets of the animals of her magical prairie land. Every morning, the Lady of the Prairie could be seen talking to the animals as they grazed on her prairie. She learned the secrets of all the animals and was able to communicate with them. She combined her ancient Celtic knowledge and used it in the animal kingdom. And as she entered into the animal realms, the animal totems and animal spirits protected her and guided her in her animal magic. As the Lady of the Prairie expanded her Celtic powers, her heart began to yearn for the Celtic lover she had seen in her visions. She had been meeting this prince in her dreams and was ready to share her love and spiritual gifts with this Celtic prince.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me take these off. Okay. Oh.
When the Lady of the Prairie woke up in the morning, she could be seen combing her beautiful long hair as she looked into her mirror. She would close her eyes, still seeing the Celtic prince she had been meeting in her dreaming body, for she knew they were destined to be together and love each other forever. Every morning, the Lady of the Prairie went deep into the prairie land of Medina. She went seeking ancient knowledge from the fairies and elementals. She wanted to manifest an opening where the Celtic prince of her dreaming realm could emerge into the physical realm. For this would be her greatest challenge of all her magical powers. The Lady of the Prairie summoned the ancient Celtic fairies. She was requesting a dual opening from the dreaming realms of her Celtic prince into her prairie cabin, and for 3 straight weeks she continued the summoning of the Celtic fairies. Twice a week, the Lady of the Prairie went into the village to buy her organic foods and parcels. As she walked from her prairie land, she traveled through the wooded mountains onto the foothill trails where she crossed over the Medina River. When she came across neighboring farms and cottages, all the landkeepers would proudly wave. Even the animals of the farms would recognize the power of the Celtic goddess. Horses would run alongside the fence, showing her a proud gallop as their manes flowed triumphantly in the wind. When the Lady of the Prairie entered the village, she lit up the town wherever she went. Townspeople smiled as she walked into their market spaces. Fishermen hailed the Celtic goddess as they cleaned their fish. Growers of fruits and vegetables beamed with joy as the Celtic goddess bought their goods. Farmers of chickens and pigs proudly showed her their best meat products, and children could be seen running after her wherever she walked. Village dogs happily wagged their tails when they saw her approaching. Everywhere she went, the Lady of the Prairie inspired joy and laughter. It happened a few days later when the Lady of the Prairie was down by the river bend summoning her Celtic ancestors. she saw a golden-winged fairy wearing purple amulets bring her a message. She was given an incantation ritual to practice in her dreaming body at night, for this would enable her to reach her Celtic prince and create an opening of awareness into the physical realm. The Celtic goddess initiated the Golden Fairy dreaming ritual. She sang the incantation every night she and her Celtic prince would meet in their dreaming bodies, flying inside the dreaming realms, singing her love. On the seventh night, the Lady of the Prairie's ritual began to work. Suddenly, as she and her Celtic prince were kissing, they both became aware they were in their dreaming bodies. They then co-created a dreaming initiation to meet in the physical realm, and as they kissed, they gently breathed their hot breath into each other, filling their dreaming bodies with luminous light. For they would meet on the seventh night after the full moon. The Celtic prince would physically come to her in her magical cabin in Medina, and after their initiation, they made passionate love in their dreaming bodies. When the Celtic Lady of the Prairie awoke the next morning, she was overjoyed with the dreaming incantation ritual, for soon she would be meeting her Celtic lover in the physical realm. The Lady of the Prairie began to prepare her magical foods. She gathered the finest herbs, grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables to celebrate the arrival of her Celtic lover. On the 6th day after the full moon, the Celtic lady was working in her cabin kitchen. She was preparing her magical foods and in a fantasy state of bliss, as she could hardly wait to see her Celtic prince. For on the very next day, her Celtic lover would be arriving. Later that night, the Celtic lady saw the Celtic prince in her dreams. She initiated the golden fairy dreaming intent, and the Celtic prince took her into a magical realm they had never been before. They were flying together inside a tapestry of colored luminous fibers of light where all people, plants, and animals had these vibrating luminous filaments connected to them. They could see adept elders moving in tension in and out of these luminous fibers. The next morning, the Lady of the Prairie organized her cabin for her Celtic prince, as he was due to arrive in the early evening. So she prepared a special baked Celtic chicken dish with wild rice and honey berries, unleavened 7-grain bread, and blackberry pie. It was a magical meal for a magical encounter. As the Celtic princess worked in her cabin, she was thankful that someone could be so close to her heart. She was in love and the happiest she had ever been in her life. As she overflowed her joy and luminous light from inside her cabin, her prairie was filling with golden light. As dusk was approaching, the North Star was beginning to shine in the sky, and then the crickets began to sing in unison, just as the frogs were echoing in the prairie energy. The Lady of the Prairie knew something was happening. It was then she heard the magical sounds of a horse riding on the highlands above the prairie. As she looked out her cabin window, she saw the outline of her Celtic prince approaching on the horizon. heart pounding in anticipation, she could hear the magnificent hoofbeats of the horse dancing on her prairie land. And then she could hear the horse breathing, now just a short distance to her cabin. And as she walked outside to greet her Celtic lover, she was finally seeing him in the physical realm. And then, just as in the dreaming realms, he suddenly appeared outside of time. As he came through her cabin door, their eyes met, and there was no need to speak, for when they looked deep into each other's eyes, the eyes did all the talking. Their hearts and spirits were vibrating in unison, for they were deeply connected through the miracle of their magical encounter inside the dreaming realms. As they looked deep into each other's eyes, they hugged each other deeply, connecting their hearts and spirits in a magical embrace. They then kissed each other softly in a deep, lasting kiss that sent a powerful etheric energy rush connecting their physical bodies. As they held on to each other tightly, they could feel a magical connection in their magical embrace. They were outside of time in the moment of eternal love. As the Celtic prince unloaded his belongings from his horse, he was in an altered state of consciousness, for he was mesmerized with the love he had for his Celtic princess, wanting to spend the rest of his life with her. And so, as he began to put his horse into the Celtic barn for the night, the Celtic lady then began to put her magical food on the table, preparing for a feast to feed her Celtic prince. And as she arranged the meal on the table, the Celtic prince was awestruck as he watched her graceful moves of artistry, beauty, and elegance. As the Celtic princess had the magical meal ready, they both sat down at the round wooden table and gave thanks to Creator for the manifestation of their physical meeting. The Celtic lady then lit 3 candles, a red, a green, and a gold candle. She then faced the 4 directions and gave thanks to the Mother Earth, Creator, and the elementals for the life force they were about to receive. And just before eating their meal, they held hands and asked the prairie life force to protect and nourish them. And then together, they created their own ritual incantation. After the meal, they went for a walk on the ancient prairie land. They were holding hands as they went up to the cliff tops overlooking the sacred waterfall. And as they gazed across the entire prairie valley, they could both feel the beginning of a new life together. And just as in the dreaming realms, they formed a magical partnership. For they both knew a baby named Trinity would soon be born and incarnate from their divine love. In a spiritual union, they would bring in a Celtic baby spirit named Trinity. And as the spirit of Trinity was now coming into their dreams and visions, they both knew it was God's destiny for them to all once again return to the physical realms as old souls reunited. At the end of the evening, they both pledged their love for each other and reviewed the things they would share and manifest in their lives together. For they knew they would live, work, and play together in the creative realms and would always be aware of the spirit guides that brought them together. As they laid in bed together that first night, they held each other tight and talked throughout the whole night, sharing their hearts and souls. And as their dreaming bodies and physical bodies were now connected, they could close their eyes and drift together into the dreaming world, never to be separated again. For they were forever thankful they had found each other, soulmates merged together in the physical and spiritual realms.